Okay, so full transparency, I wanted to make a video like this regarding this topic for a while now, but because Twitter is currently down, I don't have access to anything. If I reload this page, I'm not going to be able to see the two tweets on the screen, which I think is good enough to start the conversation, but as we go further into other articles and other things, I definitely do think this will be expanded upon more. What I wanted to do was talk about David Reinbacher, the Montreal Canadiens' 5th overall pick at the 2023 NHL Entry Draft. Let's go ahead and pull up his Elite Prospects page because I did not have that open. Let's go. Thank you very much. David Reinbacher, as we had talked about in multiple videos throughout the past few weeks, is a defenseman playing in the Swiss League. He's Austrian, and he had himself a pretty good year, getting 22 points in 46 games played. He's a big guy, he's a right-handed guy, he's a smooth skating guy. His consolidated ranking was 11th overall, but he ended up going 5th. If you watched the draft reaction video that I made to David Reinbacher getting selected, you would have seen that I kind of just cringed a little bit because Carey Price messed up the name, but I did say that this is a pick that I can agree with. However, if we go on to the tweets and everything, the response, the biggest thing that I noticed that I didn't actually talk about in any video up until now was the fact that the Montreal Canadiens fans went out there and absolutely, do I want to say tortured? Okay, maybe tortured is a little bit too strong of a word. Let's say they went out there and gave this guy a ruckus on social media. The guy got messages, the guy got comments, so much to the point that in his most recent Instagram post where David Reinbacher posted how proud he is to be a member of the Canadiens, he had to disable the comments. And I'm not going to go into the extent as to how bad some of these comments were, but let's just say David Reinbacher is an Austrian hockey player, and there were some very just immature people who were going out there comparing him to another Austrian individual who I don't even know we are allowed to say his name. Either way, though, when it comes to David Reinbacher, Habs fans have been on the more demeaning side of relentless, and it is absolutely despicable to see. The guy is 18 years old. He has just been drafted into the NHL. Whether it was Montreal at 5 or some other team at 32, he had no choice. He had no say in that. If anybody is going to get pissed off that the Montreal Canadiens took David Reinbacher at 5th overall, that's your prerogative. You can say you disagreed with the pick, you could say you should have taken Matvei Michkov, or you would have taken Michkov instead, but don't go out there and harass the guy specifically. Don't even go out there and harass Kent Hughes. This is not a thing where you have a say or a voice in the matter. You can't go out there and believe that this is the right thing to do, because it's not. Absolutely not. Going out there and harassing David Reinbacher online in Instagram DMs and comments, calling him very bad names and saying that he is a bust, he's this, he is that, so much to the point that we had Kent Hughes go out there and say this. This is what he said when he was asked what he would say to fans upset with the Reinbacher pick. I don't know what you would tell fans that are upset other than, hey, listen, we're really confident in the player that we drafted, and I would hope that they take the time to allow him to perform. It's got to be kind of the best words than a little bit of disappointment when he's getting some messaging and things on social media that are far from positive, which to us is a little bit unfortunate. We understand that fans can be direct. Is my Twitter working? No, it's still not working. But either way, the expanded part in these quotes pretty much say that Kent Hughes wants Habs fans to believe in this guy. Kent Hughes wants Habs fans to understand that the Habs believe in this guy. And I made the video a few days ago calling out Kent Hughes specifically, saying, hey, I don't like the way Kent is talking about his player, because if you had remembered that video, you would have seen Kent Hughes make a few comments saying that they don't know if Reinbacher is going to be a power play quarterback and defenseman, if he has a top 2 ceiling or whatever. There was the comment that Kent Hughes made saying that if David Reinbacher was left-handed, maybe they wouldn't be as high on him, which indicates that they drafted for need. I was calling out Kent Hughes for talking about this prospect in a way that really doesn't do what Kent Hughes is saying here. Like, Hughes is saying, all right, yeah, I want the fans to know that we like him a lot, but it's difficult to fully internalize that when you're saying, oh yeah, I don't know if he was left-handed, we still would have liked him as much. Like, do you see the contradiction there? Either way, though, when it comes to the Backlash. Everything that has been talked about here. Kent Hughes did go out there and make his statement responding to the backlash, and I wanted to expand a little bit more as to what this actually means. There was an article published on the Hockey Writers by Blaine Potvin that goes out there and highlights a few comments made on The Athletic. Of course, The Athletic is paid for material, so I'm not going to go out there and screenshot or showcase anything from this article right here. But what this article on the Hockey Writers what this article on the Hockey Writers does is it talks about some comments made in the Athletic piece saying that some members of the Montreal Canadiens have definitely been watching the Backlash since Wednesday night, and it's opened some eyes. And this is sort of where the duality of being a member of the Montreal Canadiens comes in, because the Habs fan base is nuts, and there's nobody that's going to go out there and disagree with that. They're nuts. However, when it comes to the extent of that nuts, it comes with a lot of highs and it comes with a lot of lows. We had talked about Jonathan Drouin just a few hours ago and how there was so much pressure on him to perform and do these things. He was a French player playing for the Habs. And when he didn't fulfill those expectations, Habs fans would be relentless towards Drouin. And now he's going to an environment in Colorado where, I'm not going to lie, they've got great fans too. It's just, you don't see Colorado fans lambasting their own players in the same way that fans of Canadian markets usually end up doing. And it's a Canadian thing for sure, not just strictly Montreal. Toronto does this too, as does Vancouver, but either way, for Reinbacher, the Habs fan base can be nuts at times, and so seeing the pent-up frustration over this pick manifests itself in the worst way possible with comments that are really despicable heading towards David Reinbacher's way. It is just the most unfortunate thing that you can see. I made my due diligence. I went out there and made peace with the pick. I'm hoping that anybody that was sort of disagreeing with the pick might have seen my assessment of it. Not to say that I'm going to go out there and change your mind in particular, but just saying that, hey, there are reasons to like this pick. There are reasons why Reinbacher is a valuable asset for the Canadiens to have, and at 5th overall, you could debate that this might have been a pick that was worth it if everything works out. But that's the thing. Everything has to work out. It's not guaranteed that it will. It's not guaranteed that it won't. And you can say the same thing about every other prospect. So anybody going out there and talking to this guy specifically, sending him nasty DMs, it's not his fault. It's not his fault the Habs took him at 5th overall. He's an 18-year-old kid that just lived out his dream to get drafted into the NHL, and then he gets terrible name called. I can't even describe the extent as to how bad the comments were. And I'm not saying it because it might get me demonetized, but it was really, really bad. And now I think we're having some rumors popping up here that the Canadiens may be hesitant to play Reinbacher in North America this season because of the anger from the fans. Take a look at this tweet or Instagram post made by Puck Empire. I unfortunately cannot find the source of where this is from, but the Canadiens management is hesitant to play 5th overall selection David Reinbacher in North America this season due to the fanbase's negative reaction in regards to the pick. They think that this could result in more harm than good for the player. Reinbacher is willing to do whatever the franchise wants, whether it's playing in Europe or with the Habs or Laval. Now, for me personally, I think that the best course of action would probably be to send Reinbacher to Laval. And I think if there was, any say from Kent Hughes, I think they're probably just going to go the safe route and say, all right, well, either Laval or EHC Cloton once again. It really does depend on where they feel he has more room to grow. But the fact that this is even a conversation where the Canadiens' reception to the pick itself is factored in as to whether or not he should play in North America or in Europe next season, that's so bad. So bad. And for Kent Hughes to go out there and say his piece, I mean, it's good that he's rebuttaling against it. It's just, I had my problems already with how he was talking about the pick immediately after it was made. But either way, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. My Twitter is still broken, so I don't think I can expand a little bit more on this idea. Yeah, it's, I tried to get the extended quote from Kent Hughes, but no. Nothing's working here. Elon, come on, fix up your site. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about David Reinbacher and the backlash sparked up from the pick itself. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.